Did you know there's a church that rings its own bells, even though no one is alive to pull the ropes anymore? It's called St. Maria's Hollow, a forgotten chapel deep in the English countryside. No roads lead there, no priest tends to it. And yet, every night at exactly 12:03 a.m. the bells ring. Locals say it's the sound of repentance. Others say it's revenge. The church was built in 1741 by a man named Reverend Alden, a kind, generous preacher who cared for a small farming village nearby. He believed the church was a holy refuge, but something about it was wrong from the beginning. Workers said the foundation bled water that smelled like iron. When they dug deeper, they found bones, hundreds of them, old, deformed, twisted like they had been screaming underground. Reverend Alden ignored it. He said, "Even the earth must sacrifice for God." When the church opened, strange things began immediately. Children fell sick during Sunday service. Livestock died without reason. And every evening, a thick fog rolled in from the marsh, so dense that people said they could hear whispering in it. One night, a farmer named Joseph Harland claimed he saw lights inside the church, but when he peeked through the window, he saw something he would never speak of again. Only one sentence was found in his journal before he hung himself a week later. They weren't praying to him. They were praying for him to stay asleep. By winter, Reverend Alden's congregation was gone. People had fled the valley, leaving only him behind. But the church bells kept ringing. Every night, no one knew who or what was pulling the ropes. In 1743, a group of men returned to burn the church down. They broke through the doors, but what they found inside made them drop their torches. Every pew was filled with bodies, old parishioners mummified by time, eyes open, mouths stretched wide as if still screaming hymns. At the altar stood Reverend Alden, alive, but barely. He was praying aloud, in Latin no one recognized. His fingers were blackened, nails torn, and behind him, the great church bell was swinging by itself. When they tried to pull him away, he bit one of the men and shouted, "If you stop the ringing, it will wake." The survivors sealed the church doors with chains and iron crosses. Then they buried it beneath soil and rubble. For over 250 years, St. Maria's Hollow disappeared from history, until 1999. A group of urban explorers documenting lost places in England found an entry in a forgotten land registry, coordinates pointing to a collapsed religious site near Hollow Marsh. They thought it was just ruins. But what they found was untouched. The church still stood, the wood unrotted, the bell tower intact, and the doors still chained from the outside. They recorded everything. You can still find fragments of their video online today. The footage shows them breaking the chains, laughing, stepping into darkness. But at the 16-minute mark, the camera catches something, a shadow moving against the flashlight beam. Something large, something breathing. Then, the bells begin to ring. Loud, violent, unbearable. The footage cuts out there. Days later, police found their van abandoned by the roadside. Doors open, keys still in ignition. The explorers were never found. Villagers nearby say that after that night, the bells of St. Maria's Hollow began ringing again, every night at 12:03 a.m. just like before. And when the fog is thick enough, you can hear a man's voice beneath the ringing, whispering in Latin. No one dares go near the marsh anymore, because the legend says, if you hear the bells 3 nights in a row, someone you love will die before morning. Epilogue. The question. So tell me, if one night you woke up at 12:03 and heard distant bells ringing from nowhere, would you listen? Or would you cover your ears and pretend you never heard St. Maria's Hollow calling your name?